Okay. The light sucks again. So yeah, we've had the darkest and warmest winter ever since they started recording. Either that or Mortar's brewing something up. I can't decide whether I wanted to be the fantasy evil guy who's at fault, because that would be really cool, and then there's something you can do about it. The alternative is that it's global warming and we're all fucked, so take your pick. Okay, so I have an issue and an update. My issue is that I started putting on a lot of weight recently, and initially I was too vain to even talk about this because women and weight and body image, that has so many implications. But I know why. I know why I'm putting on weight. I sit around all day at my job, and I sit around all day when I'm doing my hobby sewing stuff, gaming, watching stuff on YouTube, all this kind of stuff. I'm just the person who sits around. And I used to like going swimming, but the weather sucked this summer. I really enjoy going for very, very long walks, so that's kind of the Lizzie Bennet type of deal. I've always enjoyed walking. I can walk for hours without purpose, or maybe sometimes with a purpose, or hiking or something like that. But again, the weather sucked. So we had, ever since last summer, either it was desert temperatures with a strong wind, or it was overcast and raining or hailing, or it was just storm type of weather where you're just blown away. So there was no way to get enough exercise. And with all the research I'm doing, there's a lot of reading, a lot of sewing. I always feel like, well, I could go out, but I also need to get this finished. And yeah. So I'm the girl who sits all day, and the issue with that is I don't fit into my clothes anymore, especially my hand-sewn Regency costumes. I tried those on recently when I got the Dashwood shoes. I was like, let's try how this looks, and I couldn't close the dress. And I have 2 Regency dresses now. I made another one with long sleeves and stripes, which is really pretty and based on the same pattern than the first one, and I made this only pretty much exactly a year ago, and already I can't close it. Like my underbust width, it's and that's very sucky because I invested years of hand sewing and a lot of money to have these. I think I have 4 period appropriate costumes. I have the Anglaise, 2 Regency dresses, and the chemise à la reine. You've seen almost all of these. And now I actually give costume tours at a museum where the draw is that I wear the costumes that I made that are more or less historically accurate, and I get more money than the regular museum tours. So this is actually a financial thing for me. I worked on this ever since, I think, my 2nd year at university. That was a long time ago. I've been sewing on that for like 7 years or something. 7 or 8 years, I don't know. I would have to check the dates. I'm really bad with time. So now I was sitting there being like, crap! I just signed a contract that said that I would be wearing these dresses, or dresses like these. And now I don't fit in them anymore because I would have to lose, like, I don't know, a size and a half, pretty much. What is more likely? That I managed to lose all the weight until April, or that I managed to sew completely new dresses until April? I think they're both very unlikely, to be honest. I'm not the dieting type. I tried cutting my sugar consumption pretty much in half, and I am determined to go for more walks, just like Marianne was. And I'm going to start sewing some clothes that I can actually wear that are a bit more flexible size-wise. So I'm going to explain to you my new projects. I'm going to start with the costume close-up stuff. I will still be able to wear my chemise à la reine because that is pretty much one size fits all. So I have one costume that is definitely going to work. I will have to try my Anglaise and see if that still fits. So 1.5 costumes are okay to go. And maybe I can use some of the, I don't know, petticoat stuff and the Regency short stays and that kind of thing. But I will definitely have to make some costumes that have at least 2 or 3 inches of flexibility. So if I don't manage to lose the weight, I will have costumes that I can wear. If I manage to use the weight, I have costumes that I can adjust, so I just have more costumes to pick from. So it's a win-win scenario, and I will have to sew way faster than I usually do because I'm so slow. I mean, you've seen how long I take for like making one corset or one Regency dress. I film the entire thing, then I upload it when it's done, so I'm not the quickest person. So, first thing I'm going to do is a new pair of stays based on the ones in Costume Close-Up. Just because I need an additional pair of stays, I already made a pattern. I scaled this up, all the measurements in here. And I'm going to do this one part by hand, part by sewing machine, because this has a lot of these tunnels for the way bone, or in my case, it's actually these plastic tie things. And I will do all the tunnels with the machine, all the rest by hand, so that it looks okay. This will be a great opportunity to get rid of some of the fabric that I've been hoarding for since, oh god, I don't even know how long. So I already made myself, this is the wrong way around. I made myself lots of little pattern pieces, and these are the original measurements. I think this might be, just might be, a little bit too wide for me, but you never know with stays, because when you put the boning in, they shrink, and then they might turn out to be too small. So I don't know what I'm going to do, honestly. I will see how they work when there's a little bit of boning in, and then I will decide if I make them smaller. Also, well, I might still lose the weight, who knows. I'm going to use some very old fabric. This is polyester, so I'm not going to be too historically accurate. I got these as a present from my neighbor who gifts me fabric sometimes. This is very high quality, but it's still not authentic, not silk or anything. Also, I don't like violet particularly much, but it has this nice pattern. And I think that might look very, you know, the scene with, I think it's Glenn Close in Dangerous Liaisons when she's put into the corset, kind of like that. So I'm going to use this for the fashion fabric. It's just enough for the outside of one corset. It's not a corset, I know, it stays. But who cares, really? And I will be using some more of the linen fabric that I made the other petticoat out of. So this is really sturdy, and this has been lying around for 2 years in my sewing box, so I will try to use this. Then next thing, and this is on the more fancy side, it's probably going to take the longest. I will try to make, can you see it here, this jacket. It's a jacket from 1775 to 85 from France. The pattern is a bit more difficult, and this is a good look on the inside, and it's really cute. So my thought was, if I have a new pair of stays, and this thing here has a very open front, you lace it over a stomacher. That means that if I lose the weight, if I wear it with a different pair of stays, I can just close it a little further, and the stomacher really doesn't care, honestly. So I can wear this when I'm a bit heavier. I can also wear this if I'm a bit skinnier, so it's okay. And I'm going to use something that I've been having for a long time. So I have this bedsheet, again, IKEA. This is probably the oldest bedsheet that I have. It's really threadbare in some places, and I thought the pattern is so cute, it's so flowery. It's very not historically accurate, but it's very cute. And what I did, which you probably won't be able to see, I used some gold color and I filled in all the yellow parts of the flowers here and some of the leaves and the berries. So now when you move it in the light, you can't see it now because the light's not good, there's like this slight golden sheen to the flowers, and that is not accurate either, but I really like it. I thought, I tried it on the pillowcase and it looked so cute, so I sat there for weeks and I just painted all these little flowers to have little golden highlights, and I thought it was really sweet. and it might be like semi-historical, I don't know. So I'm going to use that for the jacket, excuse me, and I'm also going to use that for something else. Oh, by the way, I used to think that I won't have to do math and geometry anymore after school, and then I do it anyway. And lucky me, geometry was the thing that I was the least bad at in math, so that's really coming to my aid. So again, this is one big bed sheet, so I will probably use one of the sides of the bed sheet for the jacket, and the other one is a project that I wanted to do a while ago, but I didn't have any fabric, so I've always been playing with the idea to do it with this fabric. Is this from the Victoria and Albert Museum? Can you see it? Also, you would usually try to find a print that is more like this, but I just have this fabric lying around, so I'm going to use that. And it's an open gown from 1795 to 1800. So this is very transitional Regency type thing. And you don't need as much fabric, at least I'm not going to make it as full as it could be because I'm only going to use one side. I tried using both of the sides of the bed sheet and it got way too bulky and I really didn't like it. So I'm going to do this. This has lining, of course. I'm going to use some leftover fabric for lining. Again, this is one of the bed sheets that I got. Really sturdy cotton. This is going to be the lining. And this will quite possibly also be the lining of the jacket. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do about that. And then, lastly, and the most excitingly, I'm going to do one of the dresses from the American Duchess's book, which is, oops, the round gown from the 1790s. I'm not going to make it as full as this, because I'm using a different type of fabric. And the thing is, this would work very well with the overgown I just explained, with the painted cotton type fabric with the flowers. So I could wear this underneath. You see this in fashion prints all the time. They're wearing this type of dress and then this other type of dress with just the band in front over it. It would be very much like many fashion prints I've seen. The undergowns are always white, and then there's a printed or a colored gown on top, and they're more or less the same time. So this is the 1790s. Also, I've always wanted to just show how this could be worked with this book. Little review of this book on the side. It's really cute. I love the fact that there's this page in the back with the troubleshooting, like what kind of wrinkle means you make what kind of mistake. That is very practical. And in the front, that's also really great, there's a detailed explanation of the different types of, oops, there goes the picture. There's the different types of stitches explained. So that is very practical. The only issue I have with it, honestly, is that sometimes the pictures are too small and you read the description and sometimes the point that you're wondering about, so what does this look like? I don't know what this means. There's not a picture, or there's a picture where you can't quite tell which way around the thing that they're sewing is being held. Like, it's a lot of close-up and that's really good. But what I would need is to know from which side I'm looking at the thing right now, because sometimes you go like, yeah. You know, I read this on a train, not while sewing anything, so I went like, so what is this? It's not all the pictures, it's just some of the pictures, so that's the only issue I had with this book. I think I still gave it 4 stars, so if I could have, I would have given it 4.5 stars on Goodreads. It's really the only thing. Sometimes you go like, what's this supposed to be? Why is it so small? I can't make it out. And it's not all the images, most of those are very instructive, but it really could could have had more images, larger images, and even more like doodles of where this is in the gown or something. But I get why they didn't put all of the images in, because this is a really thick book and all these colored images, they're very expensive to print, so you have to cut corners. So I get it. So it's a necessary failing of the book, because otherwise this type of thing just wouldn't get published. No way. Or else it would be like 50 bucks or something. So yeah, anyway, enough of me complaining about luxury issues. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to try an overdress, and I'm going to try, oh, I forgot the fabric. Yeah, so I have a lot of cotton fabric that I wanted to use for curtains, and then I didn't, because it's a very sheer fabric. I spent like 60 bucks for 6 meters of it. It's a cotton voile thing, so it's very sheer and very nice. Can you see through it? I think you can slightly see through it. Not really. There. It's very sheer, and I thought, oh, that would be so cute for curtains, and then I tried it as a curtain and it's not sheer enough for curtains, so then everything got kind of darker. And as I said, the dark times are coming, and we can't have curtains that are not sheer enough, because then we will be sitting in darkness forever, and we don't want that, because then you get depressed. So I spent 60 bucks on fabric for curtains, and then I was like, crap, I can't use that. And then I started making a Victorian petticoat out of it. I already cut all the pieces. And then I was like, well, I don't want to do that anymore. I really don't care enough. And so I unpicked all of them. So now they are cut into a little bit of a shape, but not quite. So I might be able to salvage some of that. And then I bought 3 more meters. So all in all, that's 90 euros of fabric that I have anyway, because I thought, oh, that's always useful. So now I'm going to make this dress out of that, and I'm also going to do the petticoat, because I don't have enough petticoats, especially not for the Regency times. I have 2 Regency dresses and 2 Regency short stays, but only 1 Regency petticoat, so I couldn't even like dress myself and my sister up in a dress, because we don't have enough petticoats in the house. Where's the petticoat? Yeah, I'm going to probably start with this. So, at least in regards to this. And why I'm doing this gown specifically also, which I forgot to say, is that it has a drawstring in the front. It has, you can't really see it in the pictures, it's so small, even if I held it up to the camera. It has a petticoat that closes in the front, and then you put it on, and then it's kind of like when you have a bib front, where you you pull 2 panels close and then you pin it, and then you close these overlaying parts. And under the bust there's a little bit of a drawstring section, so you can kind of pull it in, or you can pull it out, and then you just make a bow, which means you have like 1 inch or 2 of flexibility in the front, which means I can also wear it if I lose weight, and if I don't, it's fine anyway. So awesome. Same thing with the closure of the overgown thing. You just have these 2 overlapping flap things, and you just pin it in place. I'm not going to do any buttons or any lacing on these things. It's going to be very flexible. You can switch it around if you want. You can adjust it to different people. So that's the idea. Alright, did I mention everything? This is a very confused video. I'm sorry. So I'm going to start with the new pair of Georgian stays, which is going to be just my additional pair of stays, because I still love the first pair too much. This is going to be like the backup. Then I'm going to do the jacket, which I don't have fabric for the stomacher, but I will find something. Then I'm going to do the petticoat of the round gown maybe, then the round gown, and then the over the round gown thing with the flowers. I might switch the 2 last ones around, I'm not quite sure yet. I'm going to do some sewing diary thing probably for most of these things. So wish me luck that I will be able to finish these things in time, and that I will be able to live more healthily and do more sports.